Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sparsh, and this is my first video of my Python programming tutorial series. It's an introductory video, so we're going to talk about Python for a bit, and then we will cover all the data types Python offers us. Now, Python is an interpreted high-level general-purpose programming language. It is created by Guido van Rossum and first released in 1991, and that's the guy. Now, if you wanna read all about Python, you can log on to python.org. It's the official website of Python, and you can read all about it. You can go to the documentation tabs to know all the history of Python and all the versions it released from the very beginning. And in its about section, you can read about its application, its open source projects. Now, if you've been following my previous videos, you must have Python installed on your machine, and in case you don't, you can go to its downloads tab and download it right away. It's just basic stuff. Now we will cover the data types of Python. So there are mainly 6 data types: numbers, string, tuples, list, set, and dictionary. Numbers data type is used to store numerical values, whereas the string data type is used to store the sequence of characters. Now tuple data type is used to store a value of different data types of elements, and it is immutable. It means the values in the tuples are not going to be modified or changed in Python. Now list is a data type. It is used to store different types of data types, but it is immutable. It is mutable. You can change or modify its contents. Now set is pretty much like list, but it is immutable. Therefore you cannot change its content, and you should just plain out print it but not change its values. Dictionary is somewhat different. It is a data type which is used to store a different collection of data types in the form of key value pairs, and it is mutable. Therefore you can change the keys or the values in dictionary. Now let's open IDLE, and I will show you how to use these data types in Python. Let me just create a new file here, save it by the name test.py. I already have, so let's replace the file. Now let's talk about number data type. Number data type is used to store numerical values. So let's just declare a variable here. Let's say we declare a variable a and assign a value of say 80 to it. Now this a is a numerical data type, and we can print it on the terminal. Nice. Now you can use any numerical value, 15.6, and you can print it. It's gonna print. Now the numerical data types also have its subcategories like integers, floats, double, and complex. And these are pretty basic. If you wanna know how to declare a complex, you create a variable, and as you know, the imaginary numbers have two parts usually, the real part and the imaginary part. So you pass two numbers as the parameters, like 2 and 7, and if you go ahead and print the variable c, you can see Python automatically assign these values to the real and imaginary part of the complex number. Now let's talk about string. So strings are the data type which can be used to store sequence of characters. So let me just create a variable name yes. Now you can use single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Python interprets all these single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes and understand that you have passed a string to it. I'll just give you another example using double quotes. Let's print it. Now if you wanna say you wanna access a specific character from the string you have passed, so let's print the first character. If you wanna access a specific character, the Python uses indices. So you can see the H is printed here. So the indexes are usually started from 0. So the first character is 0, then 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now if you wanna access a specific part of your string, a substring if you wanna call it, you can pass the starting position and the ending position as a parameter. Sorry. And you can see it has passed LO. So the string started at the third character and it moved up to the fifth character. The last character is not included in it. Tuple is a data type which is used to contain different types of data types of elements, but it is immutable and you cannot change it. The way you can define a tuple is simply you create a variable for it, and inside the round bracket you can pass different data types like string or integers or floats. So let me just pass here Python first. Second, you can pass an integer. Third, you can pass a boolean value also. Let me just try it and go ahead and just print tuples. Sorry. So you can see the tuples variable is printed here. Now if you want to go ahead and try to change its member, it will give us an error. Let's see. So if you just go ahead and let's say you want to change the element 5 to a different variable, to a different number, say 7, and then print our tuples, we get an error. Tuple object does not support item assignment. So you can use it to declare some elements, but you cannot modify or change it. Now the fourth data type is list. So list also store a collection of different data types of elements, but it is editable, it is mutable. So let's create a variable here, lists, and you have to use square brackets for it, and inside the square brackets you store different data types. Let me take the same example as above, and so the first element is Python, which is a string. The second element is 5, which is an integer, and the third element is false, which is a boolean value. So the printing is pretty basic. Although it is still giving us an error because we have assigned tuples here. So let's delete that, and you can see our list has printed here. Now if we want to reassign a variable or an element here, we can do, because Python allows assignment in lists but not in tuples. So let's do that again and change the value of 5 here. So you can go like this, lists 5 is on index 1 and we want to change its value to 7. Now let's again print lists, save it and then run it. you can see that the element of the first index is changed to 7 because lists allow us to change or modify itself. Now the fifth data type is set. Set also store the collection of the different elements, different data types. It is the same as set, it is the same as list or tuples, but set is immutable. That is, it is non-editable or cannot modify the size and elements value. So to create a set, you use these curly braces. So let's create a set here by the variable sets, and you use curly braces, and inside these braces let's go with the same, because why not, an integer and a boolean value. And the printing is pretty basic, as you can see, and you can see our list is printed, sets is printed. Now if you go ahead and change its the value of an element, you cannot change because it does not allow us. Now the last data type is dictionary, and it is pretty important because it is different from any of the data types we have learned before. Now dictionary is also used to store a collection of different data types elements in the form of key value pairs. So there will be a key, and corresponding to those keys there will be specific values, certain values for that. Now the syntax to declare and use dictionaries is you create a variable. Let's create a variable dict, let's go with dic, and you use these curly braces, and inside these curly braces, let's say we want to make a key by the name of fruits, and you use a colon, you use a semicolon, and it provides the corresponding values for this key. Now if you have more than one values, you go with square brackets, and inside the square brackets you go with the values like apple, banana. Now since it is a collection of different data types, you can have another key here, let's say numbers, and for this key you may have integer values like 5, 6, and these have to be inside a square bracket if these values exceed 1. Now you can see all the keys I have created here use double quotes because they are string. Now you can create a key which is an integer. So let's say I want to create a key 2 here, which is an integer, and you can absolutely do that. And this key can have both strings or integers or floating point numbers as its values. So let's give it two values, a string and an integer. So let's give a string and an integer. Now you can go ahead and simply print dic, and it prints out in a pretty good format. Now you can see here we have the first value fruits, we have the first key fruits and its value apple and banana, just like we typed in. Now if we want to access a specific key here, you can simply provide the key inside the square bracket. So let's say we want to access the value of key fruits, so you can provide the name of the key here and print it. So it only prints the values corresponding to the key we provided. Now if we want to print a specific value of a specific key, then we use this index. Now to do that, you first print the dictionary and give it two indices. First is the name of the key and second is the index of the value you want to print. So let's say we want to print the second value of the key fruits, which is banana. So we use is 1 because the index is started as 0. Now save it and run, and we can see we have printed the second value of the key fruits. So that's it. These are all the basic data types we use in Python. Thank you.